Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about manners for children, and this is a series that I've started and I'm creating a playlist for you guys. Any videos that I add to this series, I'm going to be adding to the playlist, and I'm going to link below in the description box what I already have made in this playlist. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so that you don't miss any videos in this series. So today we're going to be talking about manners for children. And you may ask yourself, why are manners important anyway? Why do I gotta teach my children manners for? Can't they just learn that on their own? And why is that even important? Well, manners are very important, and it's one of the most wonderful gifts that you can give to your children, to teach them manners. Manners is a way of showing other people your respect, your regard, your kindness. And it would really make the world a more enjoyable place to be in if everyone would use their manners. One of the best things that my mother gave me and my brother was the gift of manners. She really focused on teaching us manners, and I will be forever grateful because it has helped me in so many areas in life, in my interpersonal skills with other people, in college, at work, with family, with friends, with everyone. It has helped me so much, and it's such a wonderful gift to give to your children. It's a heritage to pass on good manners to your children, and they will not learn it on their own. This is something that needs to be taught. They will not learn it on their own. They need to be taught manners at home and be trained up in good manners. So let's start with the manners. Now, a lot of these things, depending on where you live in the world, you're going to use different manners, and different things are acceptable or unacceptable. I'm going to talk about really basic manners, and a lot of you guys are going to say, well, JD, I'm already doing all that. Why are you talking about that anyway? Well, I think a lot of people, they need to be reminded of this, and they may not even think that they need to teach this to their kids. And this is why I wanted to make this video, and I hope there's something here for you in this video, maybe a reminder, maybe something that you could do better. So let's start with greetings. So all of my kids, when they wake up in the morning, they say good morning, and they say it in a very nice way. Good morning, mama. And they give me a hug, say good morning, and they say good morning to each other. And it's so cute to see them. Even my 1-year-old's doing it now. And my 3-year-old, he's opening his eyes and he's saying, good morning. He's saying, good morning. Like he can't even say it right. But it's so cute, and it's just beautiful to be able to acknowledge the people in your home, that they're there, and that you're greeting them in the morning. Is setting that mood, that happy mood. I love it. The same thing goes for good night. We have a good night routine, and we pray together. We say our Psalms 23, which is a little tradition, and then we say good night. And it's just like, common sense, right? We say good morning, good night. The same thing goes for people in the street, where you see people in the store, you see people at the park. You want to teach your children to say hello to people. And it's not saying hello to every single person that passes by, but if there's someone that's really right there next to them at the grocery store, say hello. It's another human being. Say hello, right? Adults can learn so much from this video as well, because can I tell you guys how many times? Now, I live in the Northeast, so people here tend to be a little cold, a little bit more reserved to themselves, focus on what they're doing. And so a lot of times my kids actually get upset because they say hello to people, but people don't say hello back. And I tell them, don't worry about that. Maybe they just got caught off guard. They're not used to that. They were just impressed. And so just don't worry. And it's really important to teach children to say hello. And when people leave our home, we say goodbye. We take them to the door. We say goodbye. We sometimes walk them to their cars and say goodbye in a very nice, warm way. Greetings are so important. We make such a great impression when we do that, and we just make this earth a little bit better, a little bit happier. All right, let's talk about please and thank you now. So please and thank you. Before your kids ask you for something, you want to tell them, before request, you have to say, please. Please, can I have some water? Please, can I have the book? Please, can I have some salt? And without the please, I always tell them, without the magic word, you're not going to get what you're asking for. And it's just a matter of training them in this, and then it becomes a habit. The same thing goes for saying thank you when they receive something. And just remind them if they forget, if they forget to say thank you, just remind them to say thank you. And after a while, it just becomes part of their character, becomes part of who they are, to say please and thank you. I really think it's also important to teach children to write thank you notes when they get a gift. And we don't always do it for every single gift, but for those special gifts that someone went out of their way to give you a gift or to do something good for you, we want to teach children to write thank you notes. Maybe you can get those little packs of thank you notes that they sell at the dollar store, or maybe you can have them create their own, whichever you want to use. It's just a really great gesture to teach children. Let's talk about holding doors now. Holding doors and being helpful. So we want to teach your children to hold doors for people, to be helpful. And most importantly, if someone holds the door for you, don't just pass by and don't say anything. Don't say thank you. I see it over and over again where children, they feel like entitled. People hold the door for them, an adult holds the door for them, and they don't say thank you. And I tell my kids, after we've passed and they didn't say thank you, I say, when people open doors for us, we say thank you, and I want to see you do it next time. And I always remind them of that. And also when a car gives us way to pass, we say thank you, we're crossing the street, thank you for letting us pass. Wave your hand, that's a form of saying thank you. These are all little things that matter in life, guys. I know it seems simple, I know it's like, who cares? It matters in life. It really does. All of these little things matter because you're showing people respect, kindness, courtesy, and it's going to just make this planet a more beautiful, loving place to be. Also, being helpful. Like if someone drops something, I teach my children to help people. You see someone struggling with something at the grocery store, help them out. Teach children to be helpful. If someone's dropped something, if someone is struggling with something, be helpful. Also, excuse themselves. Like if they bump into somebody, say excuse me, say I'm sorry. I just see kids these days, like they bump into other people, they bump into other kids, and they don't say I'm sorry. They don't say excuse me when they're passing through to go somewhere. And it just does not seem right that kids are not being taught these days. Alright, so let's talk about dinner time now. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm kind of going through the basic things. Let's talk about dinner. So for dinner here in my family, we all sit down together to have dinner. So we don't have like someone over there at the living room watching TV. We don't have someone in their bedroom. We all sit together and we don't eat until everyone is served and until we have said our prayer, our thankful prayer, thanking God for the meal. And we tell the children, the basic things where we're not going to talk when we're chewing our food. We're not going to talk with our mouth open. We're not going to put our elbows on the table. We're not going to stick our hands in other people's meals. We're going to say please when you want something passed to you. And one important thing is for toddlers and little ones, they tend to want to get off their seat and want to run around while they're having their meal. And that's a no-no in our family. We really teach children, you stay in your seat until you're done eating. And it's hard for them because they have ants in their pants and they're little, they want to run around, they want to play. But we really teach them, and this is going to help you when you go to restaurants, because it's training them for when you go to restaurants and when you go to other people's house. We don't get up from our seat until we are done eating. And when you're done with your plate, when you're done eating, you say, excuse me, may I be excused? Whichever way you want to say it before you leave the table. Another thing that we have in our home is that you take your plate with you when you leave the table. You don't leave your plate there. I tell them, when you get up, you take your plate with you, put it directly into the dishwasher or put it into the sink if you're in someone else's house. We don't leave our garbage. We don't leave our stuff there. We tuck our chairs back in. These are things that we teach our children on a daily basis. And if you don't teach it to them at home, they're not going to do it at the restaurant. They're not going to do it in someone else's house. It starts at home on a daily basis, and they're going to forget to take their plate. They're going to forget a lot of things, and it's a matter of just reminding them of these things so that they continue doing it. And then it becomes habitual. All of my kids, for the most part, get their plates automatically. I don't have to remind them. But before that, it took a lot of reminding. Get your plate off the table. You have to take your plate with you. It takes a lot of reminding. So let's talk about now going to someone else's house. So before we go to someone else's house, it's really important that I remind my children what is expected of them in that person's house. Because when you get to that person's house, that's not the time to start talking about the things that they shouldn't be doing. You want to talk about what the behavior that you are expecting for them when they go to that house. So we tell them, we're going to be going to have dinner in someone else's house. We ring the doorbell. We wait until they ask us to come in. We wait until they lead us to where they're going to lead us and tell us to sit down. We don't just go into people's bedrooms, just invite ourselves into someone's house, start touching things on the walls, start touching or playing their instruments that they have, start opening refrigerators, start going into bedrooms, start getting comfortable on the sofa and lying back, and just, we don't do that in someone else's house. And we teach them that before we even get there. When we get there, if they're doing the things that I told them not to do, when we leave that place, there's a learning that goes on, and we will sit down at home and talk about all the things that we're not going to do next time, all the things that we did wrong. And it's a learning process of reminding them before and then reminding them after. These are the great things that I saw that you did. Good job. But this is, the learning doesn't happen when you're there. Like when they're jumping in someone else's couch, yes, you have to tell them to get off the couch at that point. But the learning is not going to happen there. The learning is going to happen before and after. And it's really important that we prepare our children wherever we are going, whether it's someone's house, whether it's the grocery store. This is what's expected of you at the grocery store. We're not going to go into the toy aisle today. And we're not going to touch the things, and we're not going to do whatever it is that they usually do that you don't want them to do. For my little ones that I want them to stay in the car, I tell them, we're going to go into the grocery store. You're going to stay inside the car, and we're going to go and get bread and milk, and then we're going to leave. You know, there are times that I do let the kids go into the toy aisle, and there's times that we do let them touch things and see the things that they want. But that's not always. It's not always. And you can't let children dictate your experience and just run loose in a store. And so it's important to teach them how you expect them to behave in someone else's house in terms of touching things. Before this whole COVID thing happened, we used to invite families all the time to our house. Like once or twice a month, we had families over that we invited. And it was usually new people that we wanted to get to know from church or from wherever we met them, from work, my husband. And we got to know a lot of amazing people. And I can tell you, manners matter. Manners matter, because there were kids that came to our house that did like things that I was shocked that I know I wouldn't want to invite that family over again. And it's just how uncomfortable their kids made us feel in our own home. Going inside of bedrooms, jumping on beds, opening packages. We had kids opening like if you have kids in your home and when you get a package from Amazon, they start opening your packages, there's a problem. They should not be opening your packages because that's not for them. And so you want to teach your kids at home what's not expected of them, what they shouldn't be doing, so that they don't do it in someone else's house, so that they don't do it at the restaurant, so that they don't do it at the park, at the playground. It's a matter of training our children, and it's hard. It's exhausting, but it really pays off. And after a while, it becomes part of their character, these good manners. The last one that I have here on the list is the way that they refer to other people. Growing up, I was taught to use ma'am and sir with people that were 30 and older, that were older than us. That's how we refer to an adult that we didn't know their name. So, yes, ma'am, no, sir. And I teach my children to say yes, ma'am, no, sir, yes, sir, because I think it's important. The way that they refer to other people that they don't know, especially if they're older people, you want to teach them that respect of how to talk to other people, how to respect adults. And if that's not something that you use where you live, that's fine. You can just have children say yes, Jennifer, yes, mom, no, mom. But when you have children just saying, yeah, do you want water? Yeah. Like, it's just like, no. Like, I try to delete that word from my kids' vocabulary. Yeah. Just delete it. Yes. Yes, mom. Yes, dad. Yes, Jennifer. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I think it's beautiful. I mean, these little things, they matter, because when you see children using the word ma'am and sir, it changes them a little bit. And it changes their relationship and their interaction with other people. And I understand that not everyone uses this, depending on where you're located around the world, or even in the United States. The South is common there. Everyone is like, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. It's common there, but it depends where you are. They may not be using that. But teach them how to answer to people using the names of people, and deleting yeah and saying yes. Yes, mom. Yes, dad. Yes, mama. Yes, daddy. So I think it matters. I think it matters the way that children refer to other adults that they don't know. I think it matters the way that they answer you when you ask them to do something for you. Sometimes kids will be like, why? Why not? Or why me? Or I don't care. Like, the way they answer, it matters, and it shows respect or regard or kindness to other people, the way that they respond. So it's important to teach our children how to respond, and you know, they're not going to be using ma'am and sir with their friends, but you know, have them teach them to call their friends by their names, to answer to their friends by their names, to use the word yes and no. Don't use short words. Don't use just language that is not appropriate. And I think that's it, guys. I don't want to make this video too long. I told you guys I could talk for an hour about manners, for a whole hour. If you guys want to know more, like want to talk about manners, we can talk about it more. I just wanted to make this video to be part of my series. I want to make a video, like kind of like a role play video on how to sit down at the table, and kind of show my kids, and maybe your kids can watch, and just like just proper, like sitting at the table and eating at the table, and how to do that in a proper way. Let me know if you guys want to see that video. Anyway, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have manners that I've missed in this video, some basic manners that you teach your kids, please say it below in the comments. Also, guys, don't get disheartened if these are not things that you do. These are things that we're constantly, everyone is a work in progress. Every family is a work in progress. Give your children the gift of courtesy, of good manners, so that they can have that ingrained in their hearts. It's going to make a huge difference in their lives. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Until the next time, bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe and to leave your comments below. Bye.